Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome. Whether you're watching this live here today or if you're going to be watching a replay later on. I know sometimes I get a couple people watching this. It's an odd time of the day, I think. People are at their lunch breaks, or well, they might be on lunch, cooking dinner, might be doing anything other than watching YouTube live broadcasts or Facebook live broadcasts. So I still have to decide a good time to do it in the evening. I really think I need to start doing this at 9 when I get home from work. People are going to have more time. They're going to be more available at that time, which goes to the purpose for today, which is getting outside your comfort zones and thinking outside the box. Those two things go together very well. Of course, your comfort zone, if you don't know what that is, that means I like doing things this way, and that's the only way I'm going to do it because that's what I like to do. Well, it don't work. If you want to advance, if you want to grow, if you want to do anything more than sit where you're at, you can't do that. You have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge other people. I'm going to give you an idea. When I teach Sabbath school at church, or even if I give a sermon for that matter, when I give sermons, I challenge people to think. My Sabbath school class, whether it's with the kids or the adults, and kids are actually easier because their brains are open. They're ready to already think outside the box. They're ready to consider new, fresh ideas and compare it to what they already know. And a lot of times they're a clean slate, so they know what we teach them. So we have to be careful what we teach them. But I will challenge people to think. I will ask them questions about what the lesson is about. Not about the lesson itself, because they already read that, usually. They're supposed to have, especially with the adults. The kids, not so much. It's usually start from go. But the whole lesson itself takes like 5 minutes to go through. But to get them to think, to consider what the lesson's about, what it means to them, what it means for them, what it means to other people, that's what it means to be outside your comfort zone. Because, and I find this is most challenging for the adults. Actually, the kids, they're easy. We're done with our lesson, and we start talking about other stuff. I have been asked about UFOs, about ghosts, about all kinds of stuff, and our own beliefs on that, and how that sort of stuff works. So I won't go into that with a lot of you, because you're probably not familiar with that, and maybe you've never considered it. But in a nutshell, briefly, as Seventh-day Adventists, we do not believe in UFOs. Generally speaking, there's going to be a few out there who do. But the idea is because this is the only world that sin exists on, why would they want to come here? And for ghosts, we believe the Bible teaches that when you're dead, you're dead. That ghosts are demonic forces imitating the dead people. So a little bit of theology lesson for you there if you don't familiar with how Seventh-day Adventist beliefs. Now you know a couple of our beliefs right now. I personally believe that there are beings in other worlds, but that they are not like us, in that they don't sin. So why would they come here? They're watching this drama on earth of Satan versus Jesus for the last 6,000 years. And if you read your Bible, you know how it ends, right? Jesus wins. That's it. The Bible is proven true on all the prophecies so far. And sin is destroyed. Didn't really intend to go there, but hey, now we're there. So now you know the outcome of all this drama. And as far as ghosts, that they're demonic forces imitating people because, hey, you can't see them, but they're there. They know everything about you. They're worse than the NSA, okay? Worse than CIA. Any alphabet agency you want, Satan and his angels, his fallen angels, are much worse. They know everything about you. And if you die, they can imitate you down to the letter. Except for maybe your beliefs, because they're going to start spouting their own beliefs, because, yes, the Bible says that even demons believe in Jesus. They know him. They believe he's real. They know who he is. But they hate him. So anyway, enough for that. So kids, it's easy because they're open to these ideas. We talk about dinosaurs and creation versus evolution and all this stuff. You get to the adults, this is where you get to the rigid mindset. People don't want to consider something they've never considered before. Why? Because it challenges their beliefs on that. Yeah, it's the best way to put it. So I make them uncomfortable because they ask questions that they don't want to answer, or that they don't know how to answer. And so I'm not a teacher, philosophy teacher, but I really think everyone needs to attend a philosophy class, a class on how to think and to reason, because I'll tell you, faith is great, but you got to have a reason for it. Socrates had a saying that the unexamined life is not worth living. That doesn't mean that you run off and kill yourself. What it means is you look at your life, the choices you've made, the decisions you've made, the choices you didn't make, and consider if your life is better or worse for the decisions that you did or did not make. And if it's worse, what you can do to make changes to make it better again. I gave a sermon about the unexamined faith is not worth having, based on the same premise. Why do you believe what you do? Some believe it because that's what they were taught all their life, and they don't want to believe anything else. They don't want to hear anything else. Others just, I don't know, they don't know what they think. They just want to change their mind. They're stubborn. I can't explain it any other way. But they're not willing to consider new ideas, is the thing. And the way that translates into business, whether it's a digital business like this, or it is a bank, or a toy store, or a bookstore, or a mechanic shop, it all depends on your mindset and how willing you are to think outside the box. I thought at one time I wanted to open up a restaurant when I lived in Michigan. And I wanted it to be a themed restaurant. Come in, it looked like a European hunting lodge, dark paneling, the beams, heads on the wall, and only one thing is served. Maybe two. You walk in, you get a choice. You get this, or you get that. That's it. That's what the menu is. And I wanted to be set with medieval flares, so everything would be there. And at some point there would be a bar fight and pickpockets and the whole medieval setting. And I never did it, but I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was fun, just thinking outside the box. I think something that would have been very popular. If any of you have that idea, you got it from me. But in business, you have to be willing to take chances, take risks. One person I used to talk to, Bruce Williams, he ran a talk show, and it was a financial advice talk show, long before Dave Ramsey came around. Or maybe about the same time. I didn't know about Dave Ramsey back in the 90s. I know about Bruce Williams, because I listened to a show called TalkNet, and he was on there once or twice a week. This is why I moved to Florida. Because someone else had called into a show and asked him about a similar thing. And his answer to this person was, look, you're young. There's nothing tying you down. Why not take a chance and go? Because that way you've done it and you can't regret it because you've done it. So I did. I moved to Florida. Didn't like it. It doesn't snow there. It gets too hot in summer. It gets too cold in winter, believe it or not, at night. And nothing to enjoy it with. So I moved back up north where it snows so I could have fun when it gets cold. So he had started off his life driving a cab, working 2 or 3 jobs, putting himself through school, not sleeping much, sacrificing a lot of stuff, family time and stuff. And personally, I can't see doing that Doesn't make me very uncomfortable. I didn't like working a part-time job because I was away from home so much. Imagine working 3 jobs, plus going to school until you get done. There's no time. And no sleep. I like to sleep. Everyone likes to sleep. When you're young, I found out I only need about 4 hours of sleep a day. When I was young, working graveyard shift, I would sleep about 4 hours a day, and I'd be good for the day. And then, hang on here, plug that in real quick so my fan runs. This helps keep my computer cool, because I hear the fan cycling on and off. I get this external fan blowing. That'll keep it cool. But in the process, when he started up his business, whatever business it was, he'd been bankrupt 3 or 4 times. Last time I listened to a show a long, long time ago. And he started off again with a new business until he was finally successful. Can you imagine that? Where you build up something and then it fails. You got to start over. But because you're willing to take those chances, you start over again. And you go again and again until you get it right. And sometimes that's what you have to be willing to do. And with that is coming thinking outside the box. Well, what's going to work best for you? Yesterday I mentioned that some people, before they found a successful ad, tried 40 or 50 different ads. And the advice is run it for 2 weeks. And you're paying for an ad that might not work for 2 weeks. If it don't work, you pause it and you start a new one. Until you find that combination of words and images or video that works. This is attraction marketing. People are attracted to you. And actually I explained that to Lily once, is that we're not selling anything except us. And I need to put her stuff up more often because she attracts more people than me. That's because she's pretty. I guess I'm just me. But when we did our likes campaign on our Facebook page, her image got most of our likes. Mine got a few here and there. Her, she got several hundred. I mean, kind of make you feel jealous. Itty bitty's like, okay, you're going to be doing a lot of this stuff. Your face is going to be our face for business because people like you more than like me. That's part of thinking outside the box again, too. You find what works and you work it and you change it and you make it work for you. And sometimes you can take an old idea and fine-tune it, pair some things off, make it better so that it works for you. It depends on what you do and how you're going to do it. So, taking chances, that's what starting up a business is all about. A digital business, a restaurant franchise, a gas station, a department store. Sam Walton took a big risk when he opened up Walmart. One of the quotes I remember from the wall is that he didn't know what he was doing with his business when he first started, where he was going to go with it. Now look at it now. It's worldwide. Billions. One store makes more money a year than most countries in the world. Can you imagine? And he started off with one store, one location, and he's everywhere. Well, not quite everywhere. It's not in the Philippines. I thought that would have been great if they had a store in the Philippines. Then it probably would have transferred. I could have transferred to Walmart in the Philippines. Hey, I want to come to work there. And we could move family there. But there's no Walmart in the Philippines. So don't be afraid to make changes. Don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to change the way you think and to think outside that box. Remember, one time, everyone thought the universe revolved around the earth. There were people put to death because they said otherwise. There were people threatened with death because they said the earth was not the center of the earth. Copernicus had to change what he said. Just said, if the earth was flat, and yes, there's people that believe the earth is flat today, but They're the exception, but at one time it was everybody. Except sailors. I saw the explanation was that sailors knew the earth wasn't flat because they sailed across the ocean. They knew that you get to a certain point and you can't see because you're below the horizon, right? They knew about the horizon. Most people just saw, oh, the ship is going. Oh, it's gone. It sailed off the edge of the earth. But somehow they came back. So, remember that. And don't be afraid to accept new ideas, new concepts, new ways of thinking to be successful. And, of course, consistency. I've done this 3 days in a row now. It's so awesome. No, I'm not so awesome. It's so awesome. I'm so awesome, too, I guess. Anyway, don't be afraid to toot your own horn sometimes, too. Because if you don't believe that you are worth the success that you're trying to achieve, you're not going to get it. That's part of the problem, too, with people, is they don't believe that they deserve what they're getting. When you pray, ask. I mean, look at the promises in the Bible. Jesus said, hey, if you ask for any good thing from my Father, if you ask it in my name, he's going to give it to you. God said that if you're faithful with your tithes and offerings, I'm going to reward you. I'm going to return to you. You're not going to be able to hold all the surplus that I give you. And that's not saying God is an ATM machine, don't get me wrong. But he made promises, and he keeps those promises. You just got to remember to claim them sometimes. Will it be right away? No, probably not. Because maybe he knows things like it's going to cause a problem for you if he gives you a lot of money right away, for example. That's why I never won lotto. But that's a minor thing. Nothing to do with anything else. So, claim the promises. Think outside the box. Don't be afraid to take chances. And examine your life every once in a while. Examine your faith every once in a while. Don't be afraid to learn. And try to be more consistent with what you do. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. So you all have a great rest of your day. Maybe I'll try to get on tonight. Maybe not. It depends what Lily wants to do. Because that's my time with her. So she gets to choose what we do at that time of night. And for some reason, believe it or not, I cannot do this sort of thing if she's sitting right there. I don't know why. She can watch me do this, but if she's right there, I'm just like shy. I don't know why. And I'm not a shy person normally. But anyway, so y'all have a great rest of your day. And if I don't see you tonight, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.